Two. Mic sounds nice. Check three. Right about now.
In the place to be. Are you ready? Oh, ooh. See, listen. All right.
Ooh.
Well, is this thing on? Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Is this thing on?
We on.
Are we set?
We
Okay.
on.
Well,
Listen, I'm playing with my microphone.
Touch it. Just touch it.
Get into
Yes,
all of
there
this.
it is. Right there.
Get
Just
into
touch it.
Get
Feel it, darling. Get it.
3 and 3.
Of the BGKH Show with Dominion and Epic XXS. Listen, we take a week off, and I just
It's all right. It's
and
all right.
Epic.
All
This
right.
is exclusively on
Boxwave.
Boxwave.com.
Get my Vanna Black and
Yes.
Boxwave.com.
So, if you don't know, BGKH is the show for
What is it for?
the blacks.
What?
The blacks. Power to the people. I need an afro.
Okay.
I can bring you the afro.
Oh, no. I was just like, okay, well, all right. Well, we need an afro for the blacks. I mean, we can just, we can just
The
show
gays.
off the skins. Yes, y'all. Yes, y'all.
Well, I should say the gays.
I'm walking in my truth.
Exactly.
Walking in my
the
truth.
kinky people and all of the humans.
You more.
So,
It is
we took off a week last week. How was Virginia Beach?
Listen.
I heard you had to Lysol your room.
Listen, Miss Flo came through.
Mm-hmm.
Hurricane.
It was a heavy flow, huh?
Oh my God, hurricane. Actually, in Virginia Beach, there was not one. It rained one night, and it rained it was like a really bad thunderstorm, but it was a pretty thunderstorm because I had my little window open. I can kind of
I picture you with a
patio
caftan and a long flowing
white gauzy, and I was standing
gauzy.
right.
The
The lights were off, and the breeze was coming through. The electricity was, and I was just standing there. My hair was
and
blowing
room
back.
service, it was the cute room service boy.
Oh my God!
And you just turned around, and you were framed by the lightning, and it was just a reflection.
Listen,
and you were naked underneath the gauzy thing, and
well, yeah,
you had a wonderful evening of eating.
Yeah, that was pretty much it, because there was nothing else going on. But the thing about the area was, we had, when Flo came through, she pretty much did a big old C and went all the way around Virginia Beach. Mm-hmm. So for us, it was the planning and trying to manipulate it, trying to make sure stuff was going to happen and make sure everything was all right in the area. And of course, with any weather change, you have human, insect, mammal, beast, everybody trying to run for cover.
Right.
So, of course, they're running for cover, and all these insects decide to come inside the building.
Oof.
Now, a palmetto bug.
I know all about palmetto
All I'm going to say about a palmetto bug, I don't really see too much
Tallahassee.
of a difference between a palmetto bug and a good old water bug and a good old roach. They just all the same thing. They all need to be dead. Dead.
Except palmetto bugs fly.
They need to be dead. Dead. So I came walking into the hotel one night. They met me at the door. They were like, "Hey, what's going on?" I was like, they were probably about half the size of our phone, and I was like,
Yeah,
"Oh,"
they're
I said, "Oh,"
huge.
and I walked around to the side, and I was like, "You stay there. Just don't come into 201. That's my room. So you
Right.
I don't want to do that." And then, of course, I had participants that I was there because I was there for work. They were complaining like, "Oh, we're not at the high-end hotel, and we don't have coffee all day." And I was like, "Listen here, sweetheart. You are on a government per diem. You can buy yourself some coffee, and better yet, how about use the coffee maker in your room? How about that? And bring that cup of coffee down. How about that?" But
They thought they was gonna stay at the Ritz-Carlton or some shit. The Ritz-Carlton don't take the per diem.
Listen, it sure don't. But but listen. But other than
There is
that,
that.
it was an okay time. I actually got to hang out with I got to hang out with another leather club in the area that was having a picnic on Saturday. And so I went through.
Yeah, because wasn't like
It was
Richmond Valley Pride or whatever it's called.
I can't remember what it was. And
It's RV, whatever that RV stands
listen, Stephen and Malkavian and Mr. VP, thank you so much for entertaining me for the night because I came out and met you guys, and I had a wonderful time there hanging out with you guys. It was great to meet you guys. Sorry I couldn't stay for the picnic the next day, but had to get back on the road. But I had a decent time with that. Mm-hmm. Now, as far as the apps are concerned,
Slim pickings.
very slim pickings. But I did meet this young fella
Young feller.
on the apps who decided to keep having conversation with me when I got back here. So then I found that they had this connection to DC, so we've been having conversations. I am not quite
Does Shantae
sure.
have a man at home?
Nah, and Shantae does not have a man at home.
got
Not on
a
Shantae's side. Now, the man, you know, the other person may feel like they got a man at home, but we
Well,
listen.
I hope he's
we
not on Facebook.
listen.
Or,
I don't know if he is or not.
You don't go to voxwave.com.
All I'm saying is we're in the beginning of this, and you know, some of these conversations and the feelings that you're talking about and stuff like saying, we're a little fast. Let's slow down. I mean, this ain't really like come and shut up,
like,
get out. I mean, this is just kind of
we
like,
ain't getting no younger. We might as well do this.
Listen.
Do this.
they're talking about trying to come up here and they want to visit and they want to go hang out. And I'm like, okay, I mean.
Yeah, you come visit the Motel 6 is down the street.
Yeah, I
you
mean,
can't come stay at my house on the first
You know,
date.
so of course I'm talking about iniquity and all that type of stuff. They're like, oh, I was like, listen, I'll be extremely busy that weekend. Oh, I'm not going to come because I need you all to myself. Yeah, how about you stay home? Like, it's that sort of thing. And I'm like, no. And I also have some other companies.
You have relations with him yet?
No.
Oh, yeah.
No.
You can't be doing all this. You know, listen. You can't be. I have done that. You be talking all this hard, heavy. Just when I was much, much, much younger. You talking all this hard, heavy love shit, and they show up for the first time, and you're like,
I mean, and listen, conversation is great. We have good, you know.
No.
With the Spike Lee cameras you're running.
Right. It's not me. It's not you. It's me. And what I don't like about me is you in my life.
Listen, so nice person, but they're a little too clingy too quick. And I feel like I would expect that from somebody 10 to 15 years younger, but not in our age bracket. That's a problem for me.
Yeah, because it ain't too many together and with it Negroes that live there. You know, they still, slavery just ended for them 3 days ago. So, they don't know what to do with themselves.
He has a connection here to D.C., a long time here. And so I get all of that, but I'm like, dude, you know, so I don't know. I'll keep you posted on that. But this whole, this dating thing.
Yeah. And
anyway, yeah. But other than that, it was a great week. Came back home to some fun times and laughing and joking. Got to spend some time with some of the brothers. We actually did the movie thing.
Yeah, that was good. I'm looking forward to our panel. You should talk about that.
Yes. So the Baltimore Film Festival is coming up. Baltimore International Film Festival.
Film Festival.
Because
you said BIBFF.
Yes, Baltimore International Black Film Festival is coming up. It's going to be in Baltimore the weekend of October the 6th. And the film festival will have several viewings of several different movies by these independent artists.
You said there's 70 different films that'll be shown.
Right. And we were asked to be a part of a discussion from one of the films that they are going to show that particular weekend. I guess we can say the name.
Yeah.
The name of the film is called The Breeding. And so there's a lot of things that will probably come up in conversation. In fact, my roommate was like, oh, my God, I enjoyed this so much. I was like, well, come out. We don't always have to smack on the ass. I mean, that's just extra, but, I mean, come on out. We do other stuff. Well, but he enjoyed the conversation. So,
I enjoyed it too.
Yeah. So, I mean, but it was.
Smacking his ass.
Well, multitask.
There we go.
But it's going to be, like I said, in Baltimore. And
your house was so clean. Would you like to be my maid?
Hell no.
Anyway, as you were saying.
But yeah, so if you have a chance, please come check out the film festival. Go online and check out their website. If you do a Google search for the Baltimore International Black Film Festival, you will have information about it. But come check us out. Onyx will be there. We're probably going to try to do something afterwards as well.
In Baltimore,
In Baltimore. So maybe just a brunch. And then also we have a few other things coming up just as far as the organization is concerned that will be within the next month. So Iniquity is going to be going on at the end of the month. So tickets are on sale. You can check that out on Facebook, Iniquity 2018. It's going to be at the DC Eagle. You can come check that out. There are VIP packages as well as regular tickets, and they're going to be $20 for the regular and $80 for the VIP. But the VIP package also includes your brunch the next day at Toro Toro. So again, you get your money's worth out of it. It's going to be a great time. We also have, what else is coming up that I'm missing? We have opened our applications up for accepting applications for becoming a part of Onyx as well. So you can always go onto our website, our onyxma.com website. /membership, thank you. To look at the application, complete it, and submit it. And we are open for brothers as well as associates. So if you are interested and you either identify as a person of color, you are a person of color who either identifies as either gay or bisexual, or actually you identify as a human
being.
And
aren't you the president?
Listen, for an associate membership, you can be anything, male or female, whatever you identify. You can become part of the organization. You must be human. But in order to be a full brother, which allows you voting privileges, again, you need to be a person of color that identifies as a gay or bisexual man, and that will be it. So there's a slight difference. But again, go check out our website. And then also, you see us in the public eye. This is one of our founders. He is always around.
I don't appreciate it. And you caught that, didn't you?
We love him, but he is always around.
Mm-hmm.
We love him. We do. We love him. Mm-hmm. We give him patches and stuff. We love him. Right. You've been touched. You've been blessed. But anyway, other than that, my week has been good. How's your week been?
I missed you so much last week.
I could tell. Mm-hmm. I could tell. My phone was just, it was just blowing up. I could tell.
It's terrible.
Mm-hmm. I did.
Speaking of palmetto bugs, this takes me back to my freshman year at FAMU. Listen, so by the end of the first week, everybody had just gotten into the fact that, there were, is that him? Girl, why you give him your real number? You're supposed to give him the Google number until you at least meet him and see what he look like. Just
go ahead.
You gotta do like that.
Go ahead.
Oh, you don't want him to know that you you want to just let it go and pretend like you was too busy. You don't want to.
I am busy. I am taping.
But you don't want to swipe it on the first one because then that lets them know that you don't want to talk to them. You let it ring all the way through so you can be like, oh, girl, I didn't even notice the phone ringing.
I am taping. Anyway, go ahead.
Oh, wait a minute. What was that? Oh, he sent you a picture of your booty? Of his booty? Was that what that was?
That was me. Thank you very much.
Oh, you sent it a picture. Oh, see. I didn't know you was like that. Ooh, send nudes. Okay, so that's epic. That's how epic roll. I don't do that sort of thing. I mean, I can't even tell that lie. All right, so
he couldn't even get the sentence out. Really?
So anyway, palmetto bugs. So, everybody has sort of gotten into that there were bugs. We in Florida, it is what it is. Our dorm sort of looked like the projects look like Cabrini Greens. I mean, all of the rest of the dorms look like all of the rest of the dorms at FAMU. So the women were on one side of the campus, the men were on the other side. All of the other dorm rooms look like typical dorm rooms. Mm-hmm. The dorms where I lived, called Pattyfoot, which were on the men's. I know, right? Pattyfoot was someone in the history of FAMU. Anyway. So there were these 4 rectangular towers, 2 for the men and 2 for the women, but they were on the men's side of the campus. It looked like 4 project buildings.
Okay.
Anyway, so in the common room, so remember this was the fall of 1989, so School Days had just come out, and I can't tell you how many times we saw School Days.
Lord have mercy.
What's up, Barry? That fall. And of course, the RA who was in charge of the common area was an alpha, so he wanted to just replay that one scene in the middle where the alpha stepped just over and over and over again, and I was just like, Anyway, so we're in the common room. Everybody's just chilling. You see this big ass water bug or palmetto bug crawling across the wall. No one pays it any attention. That bitch flew from one side of the room to the other. Everybody's like, I'm out.
Yeah.
I am out.
Yeah.
Out.
Yeah.
because I don't fuck with bugs.
Listen, I heard
spiders.
Listen, well, you already know how I feel about spiders.
Yeah.
Listen, just so y'all know, there's nothing to laugh at. I have crashed my car over a spider. Listen, we're good. You got it. It's all you.
Yeah. So, all of this drama with the family and other stuff, has really got me in a mood and a state. And so it was suggested, by a couple of friends, because, it really does take a toll on you that, I get some time away. So
trust me.
I am getting all the way away.
Trust me.
To the West Coast. I'm going to San Francisco Friday morning.
You're going to San Francisco?
Cisco.
Okay.
I'm going to go, and wouldn't you know it, I didn't plan this. This weekend is Folsom Street Fair. What?
Well, look at God.
Well,
look at God. Look at God.
Look at God. You know what? Look at them. Look at those blessings.
Listen, I need you to sign off on your testimony, your photo release this time.
I'm going to wear a face mask or something because I was like, bitch, there's a video of me getting my dick sucked on Tumblr.
Listen.
How rude. And listen, because it was hateful. It was wonderful. But I am not getting any royalties off of this or nothing. I'm not even, I'm an uncredited extra in this dude's
first roll of the whole game. Get the money up front. First roll. Come on now. I
didn't even know he was filming.
First roll of the whole game.
Did I not mention it? I was busy getting my dick sucked in the middle of the street.
Listen, fuck that. You see green. You focus on the green first. First roll of the whole game. Get the money first.
It's not the dude.
Put it in between your butt cheeks and hold on. Squeeze on it there.
Listen, all it was just like a random dude walking down the street holding his phone like this as he walked.
I do not consent for this unless you pay me.
He caught me in the scene, and then
I do not consent for this unless you paying.
And then Sydney, my gay mama, is like, "Hey, I saw this video," and it was like, you should check it out when you get a chance because it's like a very interesting.
Thank you, gay mama.
He said there's a very interesting co-star, and I didn't watch it for like 3 weeks, and then he was like, "Did you see the video?" I'm like, no, this is a Tumblr video. I did look at it, but it was like an hour and a half, and so I was like, he was like, 2/3 of the way through, you should just fast forward to that, and I just like, I was like, oh, son of a bitch. Anyway,
he's a star.
So I'm going to San Francisco. I'm ready for my close-up, Mr. DeMille. So, I did this trip on the cheap. Listen, I pulled all the stunts and all of the shows.
Okay.
Points on Southwest.
I'm so mad that I don't have that many points.
Well, because every trip that I took,
do I even have
starting when we went to LLC in March, I have not traveled on anything but Southwest Airlines since March. So we went to Atlanta and then Cleveland and then.
Did we fly to Cleveland?
No, we drove, so maybe not that one. So Atlanta, Chicago, back to Atlanta.
That's right.
For the 4th. Mm-hmm. When I went to San Antonio.
Okay.
When I went to San Francisco for Dory the first time.
Yeah.
And didn't I go someplace else?
You were in Florida.
I went to Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've had 7 trips, round trips on Southwest. So anyway, I was still 3,000 points short. So $99. So the one-way ticket to San Francisco, I had to buy 3,000 points.
Okay.
So I only spent $99 for the one-way ticket. Now on the way back, I have to be in Panama City, Florida, at an Air Force base next week.
Okay.
So they're paying to fly me
from
San Francisco to Panama City, and then from Panama City home. Oh, and since I have to buy a fully refundable ticket, that's business class. So business class is first class. So I am flying first class. So that you know what that means? I can stay up all fucking night Sunday night because my flight at 8:25 from SFO is going to be first class, and I already know
walk up to that bitch at any point in time.
They're serving bacon and eggs with biscuits and gravy, and I will be having several mimosas between here and between San Francisco and Charlotte, and then I have an hour layover, and then it's an hour from Charlotte to Panama City. All of that's first class. I'm going to be so drunk by the time I get to Panama City that night. Oh, it's going to be so lovely. Oh, I can't even. It's going to be so lovely I can't even deal.
Champagne does me in with when we do mimosas. It just does me in. It's like that
it's
champagne
like water.
headache.
I've
is
had
like,
as many as 15 mimosas at a time.
But when I have to take a nap and then I get up and I'm
I
like,
do. Let me just be clear. So, like when we have brunch on Sunday, because so we are. I gotta send an email about that. We are celebrating the 11th anniversary of Onyx Mid-Atlantic. It's actually on October the 6th, but October the 6th is when we'll be in Baltimore for the film festival. So the family will be getting together. Oh, that's news to some of y'all. Some of y'all, Real and Aries and Marcus and a few others, that's news. But we're having brunch on Sunday, October the 7th, to celebrate the 11th anniversary of Onyx Mid-Atlantic. So, I mean, if I have more than 3 mimosas, that's a wrap for the rest of the day, but I still have like 20. Once I know that it's a wrap, then I'm good for the rest of the day. And actually, I think we're going to do it at Alero's because, I'm a founder.
So
I'm a founder. Therefore, it's my privilege to choose the place we're going to brunch. So we're going to Alero's.
It is your founder privilege.
Founder privilege.
Your
so
founder
that I can
privilege.
get my motherfucking frozen
let me tell you
passion fruit margarita.
Let me tell you about the founders of Mid-Atlantic, how they have found this. It circles around a brunch because we have one founder that wants to go and have Alero's and their passion fruit drinks.
We could go other places.
But then we also have another
we
founder
could
that
go
founded
to
our
Fogo de
inappropriate
Chao.
brunch.
Oh, that's
which is no longer.
What? Fogo de Chao is no longer.
No, the inappropriate brunch.
So
our founders. When I say our founders are ingrained in the history, and they're listen.
Are you trying to say that we're drunks?
Listen, I fit right in. I'm fine with that. I
okay.
own all of my. I
wasn't feeling judged. I was feeling seen.
Oh no, I see you. I see you.
We see each other.
Oh, speaking of, I seen Cornelius today. Hey Cornelius. I don't know if you're out there.
Cornelius. How are you?
But yeah. So yeah,
he's not on Facebook. That's a whole other story.
Okay.
All right. Anyway, so on to the show.
Listen.
Ooh, American Horror Story. So I have been watching this season.
Did you what? Okay, wait. You watched.
This is the 3rd episode. I've seen
the third episode is coming on tonight.
Right. I've seen the first 2 episodes. I'm
still
just not
okay. Let me be clear.
This is a lot going. First of all, these bitches have been in this house for the better part of 2 years, and the only thing that's changed is the one chick had the wild hair or whatever. They now are officially cannibals because that clearly was stew in the stew. This is
listen. Spoiler alert for those that are watching American Horror Story. But listen. I am here when Rubber Man. I am here for Rubber Man.
Yeah.
Rubber Man. I am here for Rubber Man. Rubber Man is like, Rubber Man made the season 1 everything for me, and Rubber Man is making like him showing up. I was like, yes.
Yeah.
Rubber Man has like put us like he's fast forwarded everything for me, and I'm here for it. So I don't know what's going to go on tonight, but I'm all in it. But the way it ended on this 2nd episode with Kathy Bates, I was like,
yeah. So is she a robot?
Listen. It was giving you very much Alien tease with with the robot. I can't think of his name, but it was giving you. So you have to check that out. But it was listen.
Right.
I'm here for it. And that whole conversation that what's his name was having with the guy from the cooperative,
Michael,
and he was like,
I wouldn't fuck you if you were the last man on earth. It was like, bitch, I am the last man on earth.
He was like, because you're desperate. He's like, you're just and you're needy. I was like, oh God. Then he said something about when they were whipping him.
Right. Oh, he was just naming gay icons. He smacking was. He was like, Larry Townsend. Okay, that's cute.
And then
there was a shout out for the Folsom Street Fair.
Yes, when what's her face? When Mrs. Venable. When Mrs. Venable looked down, Ms. Venable. Right,
Venable.
which we will figure that out, I guess. When Ms. Venable looked down, she said, "Oh no, he's enjoying it," and he's like, "Whew."
Right.
I said okay.
He was not giving me convincing pain pig.
No.
It worked for the show, but whatever. But
Yeah, but
he was.
Rubber Man was
and
wearing
that is
that
a
ass
terrible blonde wig that he is wearing. I don't.
No, I think that's his hair. I
Well,
think that's his hair.
okay, it still looks terrible.
It's chip choppy, but yeah.
So like if I went into a hairdresser and he was doing my hair, I'd be like,
Wait, were you talking about for him or you talking about for the girl?
Evan
Evan Peters.
Yeah,
Evan,
his
okay, the
character,
actor Evan
the blonde
Peters.
hair.
Okay.
I'm just like,
It's his hair, but now the girl whose hair he did.
yeah. So I'm interested to see. Some things I was reading was saying, so he thought he was going to fuck Rubber Man, and he wanted to see what was under the mask, and the Rubber Man wouldn't reveal, so he went and he stabbed him. Then
Because
he went from his fog and then realized it was his grandmother.
He thought it was the other guy from the cooperative because he didn't like what he said to him, and he was like, "Oh, okay."
So then he was going to stab the guy, and then it turned out to be his grandmother.
His grandmother.
But something I read, people were like, "Well, is she really dead?" And I'm like, there's only so many. The show is only 13 episodes,
right? Well, but the thing about American Horror Story is
we're on episode 3.
This is episode 3 tonight. The thing about American Horror Story is people can come back to life.
They can, but I just don't think that. I feel like she was stunt cast. I feel like there was no reason to cast her specifically on that. I mean, it's cute.
I think.
And it was a cute shout out, talking about the champagne was burnt and all of that. I mean,
yes, but
it was unnecessary. And then her whole reason for thinking that she should live over all of the other people is like, well, I'm bringing culture.
Exactly.
I said, bitch, they don't need culture. They need people who can reproduce. And she says, well, a woman in her 50s can reproduce.
And I was like 50s.
And everybody was like, no, bitch, you are 90 if you were. I mean, she's not 90, but she was in her late 70s, early 80s.
She that formaldehyde aged her well, so I mean, it's preserving her.
So, we'll see what happens there. I'm interested to see, because I feel like at some point, in order for, what's the chick's name that was the witch?
Her character's name as a witch is Fiona.
The actress's name.
Sarah Paulson.
In order for Sarah Paulson to show up as the witch, Ms. Venable has to die or otherwise not be on the show. Because otherwise, I mean, are they just all going to be like, they look exactly alike?
Not necessarily.
Or is she going to be reincarnated as the witch or something? They could her do evil twin sister or some shit like that?
Not necessarily.
Or were they... what would be cute, though?
It could be like time flashes back and forth.
It could be time flashes, or remember they played...
She played two characters, the twins.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What if Ms. Venable is actually... Because remember they split them.
They did.
That was in Freak Show, because that was the one season that I actually watched.
Yes.
So, and then they showed how her back was all fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
And so maybe, what if she's Ms. Venable now, but what if she's one of the twins that was...
and again, that is one of the things that you could think about with American Horror Story, because there's always a connection, and that's the thing. You're finding out more and more connections as the show goes on. Yeah. So it very well could be one of the twins from Freak Show. But they talked about the parallels between season 1, season 3, and season... I think it's 1, 3, and Roanoke, which was season 5 or 6, I think it was. But there were some similarities between all of them. So I don't know. It very well could be another
so that would be
connection.
Interesting.
So, but we'll see. But again, they've had multiple characters in the same scene, played by one person.
All right,
we'll see.
There we go.
I don't know how we're gonna do it, but listen, I'll be interested to see Ryan and Brad. I'm right there watching y'all.
There we go.
I'm right there watching it. So, speaking of another American Horror Story, have you heard about this? According to Gay Star News, Mike Pence is going to be speaking at an anti-LGBTI conference. And he actually is supposedly the first sitting vice president to speak at this conference. Now, there are several issues that I have with this conference from the beginning. So he's going to address the Value Voters Summit, which is an annual conservative conference in D.C. Mm-hmm. Now, it's hosted by anti-LGBTI, see they're adding letters on here, the hate group called the Family Research Council.
Interesting story there. Remember the Duggars?
Yeah.
Remember, who used to be the head of, or, very active in the Family Research Council?
The dad?
No, Josh Duggar, who was the dude who was so dumb in trying to have his affairs that he was on Ashley Madison. with his full picture and shit. And he actually bought the affair guarantee. So where basically you could, dummies who needed to be parted from their money, paid for the assurance that, one of these chicks was going to find them attractive enough to have sex with him. And then, of course, his wife, then, when he got found out, just like all people who just can't live
I didn't know
up,
that.
he said, oh, he's addicted to sex and he's addicted to porn. And like, no, girl, you just don't like, your wife do basic shit.
And that's not what
your wife like to do basic shit.
And that's not what you're into.
So one of a couple of things happened. You either tried to do her some freaky shit and she didn't want to do it, and she threatened to leave you and whatever.
It's immoral.
It's right.
I don't understand why you have to put it there. What is that going to do?
It probably wasn't even, it probably wasn't even anything crazy like asking her to piss on him or him to piss on her. It was probably like,
She was like, I'm not doing that. What are you talking about?
The penis does not go in the mouth.
Well, this all goes along with this whole conference that Mike Pence is supposed to be speaking at.
We digress.
This Pence's speech is supposed to be on actually it was on blah 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 blah. The speech was the 22nd of September, and it was entitled "How Gender Ideology Harms Children." And featured on this panel is supposed to be LGBTI figures such as Dr. Paul McHugh and Peter Sprigg. Now, this panel, that's the problem that I'm having with is it's hosted by the American College of Pediatricians.
No, it's hosted by this woman.
Mm-hmm. But the president, Dr. Michelle Cricella, is the president of this ACPEDS. Now, the problem is it is an illegitimate medical organization that argues that allows trans kids to transition is child abuse. What? Anyway, both the FRC and the ACPEDS are designated hate groups by the Southern Poverty Law Center. And in the past, the Family Research Council has claimed that LGBTI activists seek to normalize pedophilia. See, again, this is that backwards ass thinking where people feel like what they do is the right thing and the only way, and that anything else outside of this is wrong. Mm-hmm. Stop doing that. And the fact that Mike Pence was actually speaking at this is one of those things where it's like, really, Mike? But again, this is where our country is headed towards. It is a horror story at this particular point for me.
Yeah. And then, other speakers include Michelle Bachmann, Ted Cruz shows up, and Mitch McConnell. So the turtle, not Uncle Fester, Eddie Munster, and, the beard, because, her husband is allegedly.
Yeah, and Ted Cruz is one of those people that actually argued that trans people shouldn't. He's one of the biggest. He's against trans people using, or he wants them to use the bathrooms that they were assigned to at birth, as opposed to how they identify. Like,
how would you know? Because are we going to start making people pull down their pants?
Now,
is there going to be like a bathroom monitor that's going? Are people going to pull down their pants? Or if you don't use if you're in the bath, if you're in the men's bathroom, they're gonna have like a monitor and be like, I noticed Epic didn't use the urinal, but they're like, bathroom monitor, pull down your pants.
This makes me think of T.S. Madison and how she. T.S. Madison.
She's standing in the door. She's standing in the doorway of her house with these big ass titties and this big ass dick with an erection.
T.S. Madison said she went to her doctor's office and she said she went into the bathroom and she forgot to lock the door. Mm-hmm. And she said this woman came into the bathroom. She said the woman screamed, she screamed, the woman screamed again, she screamed again, and she's like, I had to go to the bathroom, so I'm standing up going to the bathroom, and I was like, oh damn. This woman is scarred for life.
Yeah. So speaking of stupid Michelle Bachmann, she said today that the reason that this country is doing so well is because Donald Trump is blessed by God. So we're going to end on that one. So that's, we know she crazy as cat shit. All right, Bill Cosby was sentenced.
Why am I yawning? What is going on?
3 to 10 years in state prison for 3 felony convictions related to his sexual abuse of Andrea Constand, who was the person where he admitted under oath to drugging and having sex with, which is the definition of rape, because you cannot give consent. Like I said on Facebook posts, we'll get to my Facebook post in a minute. I'm at 49 friends. And as we move into a new season of pledges, I'm going to be brushing up that list. I'm like trying to make room. People are making it easy as shit for me to unfriend them. Yeah. And unlike other people where I say I'm disappointed to you say something crazy, you won't even know, because I would just be like unfriend. So like one day, today, some asshole posted a picture of Andrea Constant, who is a masculine looking woman. She's a lesbian, but that's her business. She's grown. Again, rape is not about beauty, and it's about power.
It's about power at all.
And so the fact that she is a handsome woman is neither here nor there, but their meme was like
handsome.
Very handsome. Bill Cosby, the meme was that Bill Cosby couldn't have raped this person because this is clearly a man. And Bill Cosby isn't gay. Like, straight men don't rape men as a power thing that isn't necessarily about their, probably, but not necessarily about their sexuality. But anyway, I was just like, ooh, great, 49, 48 and counting. I have unfriended a couple of people over this Bill Cosby foolishness. It's like, well, he deserves a break. And, like another person. So I'm down to like 49, 47. Or 49. I'm actually down to like 49, 40. Because I've been unfriending.
Yeah.
But like some other asshole was like, I feel like the sentence is too harsh. And then someone was like, well, what if that was your sister? Or your aunt, or whatever. And he was like, my sister would fight back. Bitch.
Listen.
This person was drugged.
Listen.
I mean, you went to the Jell-O Pudding Man. You went to Heathcliff Huxtable's house expecting
America's favorite dad at one point. Yeah.
To, give you advice on your career or hang out. Or here's the thing. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that probably some of these women, because I don't know, I can't quantify it, probably would have had sex with him if he had just been like, hey.
Listen, and
let's do it.
Word on the street is.
Because people want to have sex with famous people. There's plenty of unattractive people who are having sex with supermodels and aspiring models or whatever, but he never even gave those women the chance to say, let's do it, because before they could say anything, he gave them a drink with a roofie in it.
And word on the street is, because I heard this I was talking to one of my participants, the instructor at my program. Mm-hmm. She is a woman of 80-something years of age. Mm-hmm. She's done the circuit as far as hanging out and knowing people. She's like, word on the street is, they used to call him Big Dick Bill. I said, what? She said, he is known as Big Dick Bill. I said, well, wait a minute. She said, he has been known as Big Dick Bill for years. I said, well, Jesus.
Isn't that interesting?
So now I'm sitting there looking at America's favorite dad like.
That's not my
But at 80-something, I'm just kind of like, Bill, like, what?
I'm keep going. Anyway. All right,
so but yeah,
what are your thoughts?
So I have let me be clear and state this from the beginning. Mm-hmm. This was a crime. This was wrong. There are ramifications to everything that you do or that you have done. Mm-hmm. So the ramifications are you have been arrested, tried, put to jail, and that's where you are. Mm-hmm. I still have mixed feelings because of I have mixed feelings with him going to prison because of it. It's a maximum security prison. Mm-hmm. He is 81 years of age. He is also legally blind and probably more than legally blind. Mm-hmm. He is a celebrity and a very big name celebrity, and he's been moved into a prison that's in Pennsylvania, or outside of Philadelphia at some particular point. So I'm sure there are a lot of connections there for him. So I feel like he is in, and it's also, again, a rape case or like a molestation. It's not necessarily kids, but it's still rape, and they're not necessarily on the top of the totem pole or top of the, but Bill, you got a lot of strikes going against you here, buddy. And then I feel like he's such a famous celebrity that it's going to be an issue trying to protect him and then also trying to make sure that he's a part of the general population in some way, shape, or form. So I just have some very mixed feelings about that because, again, this man is 81 years old. He may not make it through his whole sentence. I just have very mixed feelings, and I feel like it's completely different than when Martha Stewart went to jail. She went to this day camp, basically.
Yeah,
it was federal. I'm not
insider trading.
That is correct. But all I'm saying is it was still
didn't rape nobody with bearer bonds.
It was a crime.
Yes.
It did not. It was a crime.
Yes.
And I'm not saying that one crime is equal to the other, or that one is better or is worse than the other. But again, at the end of the day, you have violated someone's person, and you have violated someone's wallet on the other side, as far as Martha Stewart is concerned. Yeah. So wrong all the way around. I just have very mixed feelings. I'm not quite sure where I am with that. I have mixed feelings.
I hear everything you're saying, and I think that there are a number of logistical challenges not related to my feelings about him personally that make it difficult and seem probably unnecessary for a maximum security. I mean, did he do some terrible things? But yes, he is an elderly, almost totally blind person. So, I mean, you put people in a maximum security prison because you're afraid that, they need that special kind of thing because they need like 24 hours a day monitoring because they killed like 500 people and they're young enough where they're like a danger to the rest of the population, so they gotta be whatever. So while I don't think he should be, like we had talked offline about, house arrest, because no, you're not going to get to live in your 7,000 square foot house or 10,000 square foot house or whatever, ankle monitor or not. Even if you got to make a call to whomever to check in 3 or 4 times a day, you get to do that while you have a maid and drinking champagne, because that's how I would do it. I'd be like, not that I would rape somebody, but if I ever had to do that and I had like a 10,000 square foot mansion, I'd be like, sure, house arrest, fine. He's 80 years old. He ain't going nowhere. Right. So I just feel like we need to consider that. But ultimately, I don't care. He didn't give a shit about Andrea Constand or any of those women. And in this whole thing, when we get to Brett Kavanaugh and this whole Me Too and the rape thing, it is beyond disheartening how many of the people that we know personally were sexually assaulted or raped, men and women, and the reasons why they didn't report. And this, sometimes, and even people even say stupid stuff. It's like, well, that happened once when you're 45 years old. That happened once when you're 17. Most of these stories are people telling about the multiple times that they have been sexually assaulted. So my sympathy is with them, not on an 81-year-old man who did it. He should have thought about all that shit when he was doing that. That was, like I said, it was entirely unnecessary. And I mean, I'm not at all shading you for your opinion. No. But he should. There was no reason for him to do that, because if he was Big Dick Bill Cosby and if that was known, there were plenty of chicks that would have, I don't mean that disrespectfully, there are plenty of women who would have had sex with him willingly and for free.
Yep.
He did not need to drug people and not even give them the opportunity. I mean, not that it's okay to drug them if they had said no, but he never even gave them the opportunity to say that, because I have to imagine that some of these women was like, well, if I go over to this dude's, I'm not saying this is right, but if I know that if I go over to this guy's house, he's Big Dick Bill or whatever, we probably going to do it. Then maybe they were completely fine with that. Yeah. But they were never even given the opportunity to say, yeah, I'm down with it.
But again, this illustrates the whole point of rape has never been about sex.
Right.
Never, ever, ever. It's always been about power. And so even when we're transitioning and even talking about Brett Kavanaugh, this whole thing with this third woman that comes up, listen. I believe that everything that I've read that this woman has said that has happened.
Women.
And I'm speaking about specifically since this third one, who actually went into detail. I believe that every single thing happened, and it goes right along with, again, the definition of rape. And this man and how he has been brought up in this community that he's been living in, and ultimately searching for power, because he's had he currently still holds some very powerful positions, and he has a lot of power. Judge. So, I mean, this goes right along with everything about him. Yeah. So, the fact that they are debating whether or not they should confirm this man, well, it's not even a debating if they should confirm. Why are you still having him here?
Listen,
that's for me.
If I can digress for a few seconds, we know that the value of a woman's life don't mean shit. To clearly, a lot of men and women on both sides of the aisle. Right. Yesterday, I read something that a female-identified friend of mine posted on Facebook. Did you know that in many states, if you or I or our producer wanted to get a vasectomy, go to the doctor and say,
get a vasectomy.
I want to get a vasectomy.
Right.
No one's going to look at you cross-eyed. No one's going to say anything. No one's going to give a damn. That's your personal decision because you're a grown-ass man.
Right.
If a woman said, and this is in some states, in some states it may be the same for women, but in a significant number of states, and if it's even one state, that's one state too many.
That is true.
If this woman, for her own health, like you got 5 kids, like, me and my husband don't like to use condoms. We don't want to use birth control. We got 5 kids, so he's gonna get a vasectomy, and I want to get my tubes tied. Do you know the number of hoops? First of all, in some states, the doctor can just say he's not going to do it.
That is true.
He can just say flat out, I'm not going to do it.
And
even in states where he will do it, she's got to go through all sorts of counseling. And so one woman, one of our female identified friends said her partner, they're lesbians, but she's 25. She has these fibroids or some sort of a condition where if she was to try to get pregnant, she would die. So she wanted to go get her tubes tied.
Mm-hmm.
The doctor said, that's not your decision. You need to wait, because what if your husband wants to have kids? That's not her husband's fuck. First of all, she's in a relationship with a woman.
And
but even if she was in a
and
relationship with a man,
more importantly, that is her body.
That's her body.
That is her body. And then when
decisions that of some future man that she may or may not be in a relationship with that's between her and that future man.
Right.
Her doctor's only thing should have been like, can your body tolerate this surgery? If the answer to that is yes, then
let's go through it. But when you also when you throw in the type of hospital that you go to or that the doctors work with, so because if it's religious in any way or Catholic,
one of those like Baptist or Catholic or even like some Jewish hospitals,
they literally won't do it.
Yeah.
I have a friend who literally now has 5 kids.
Mm-hmm.
After her 3rd, she really wanted to get her tubes tied, but she said she knew at this particular hospital, she said, I'll just go ahead and wait, because she had to wait. She literally made that decision after she had her 3rd kid, and she was like, I'll just wait. You have to wait, she wanted to do it right then and there, they wouldn't do it. She said, so I'll wait 6 months or whatever the waiting period was. Sure enough, she wound up getting pregnant again and had twins, and she was like, okay, that's it, I'm done.
Right.
She was like, so when they come out, she was like, take this engine out.
Take
this engine out while you in here, let it go. Like, drop this engine down, I'm good.
I got 5 kids. I mean,
she was like, I'm good.
Right. But just the fact that this just shows you how little they value the life of a woman, that you can just be like, oh, well, how could this be? And your president was like, if this, speaking of the first accuser, if this really had happened, then I believe that, there would be some police report, because her lovely parents would have reported it. And then that's why people are saying why I didn't report. I mean, There are any number of reasons why people do
don't.
not report at the time of their assault. And
Yes, indeed.
even I was like, not on this. I had said before that, I wish more people would have said something at the time, not that this thing happened, but just generally. But then listening to these people, listen to people's stories of men and women about why they didn't report. It's easy for me to say, yeah, you should report, but I've never been sexually assaulted.
Right.
And you don't know the kind of shame or the reasons,
Listen.
Some people do report and people don't believe them. One thing I did read that I reposted was people they posted a meme. My friend Mishi posted a meme, said, "Your daughters hear you defending Bill Cosby. That's why they won't tell you that their uncle is touching them, because they already know that they won't be believed."
Yeah.
And so when you grow up, you know how black people are, black men, in the barbershop. I'm sure there's conversations right now about how innocent Bill Cosby is and how he's being railroaded by the system. And they say that kind of shit around their female and their male relatives who are getting abused by clergymen or
it's not just the men. It's not just the men. It's cyclical, and unfortunately, people have been conditioned and brought up into it. Listen, I think I've mentioned this to you before, just on a personal note. Mm-hmm. So listen. Family secrets and all that type of stuff. My sister, she's passed, and that was one of the big family secrets that I found out when she died. Of like, she was molested or she was raped. And again, for me, I can't even. And it was my father, which was a really different, a whole different set of issues. And so I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to figure out the processing of these things by the family, and specifically with my mom, and how that has a play into what's going on with her mental state now. Because no
Sometimes
one
you
ever
block all that shit.
Listen,
stress.
No one ever talked about it.
Right.
No one ever. And even though my mother was young when she had her, their dynamic has never been mother-daughter. It's been like sibling, but it's a rivalry thing, but there's a guilt piece. And
how was she, like 14, 15?
She was 16 when she had her.
Yeah, so I mean, that's big sister.
They are growing up together.
Right.
And, so it's the weirdest thing.
By the time your sister was 16, your mother was only 32 years old.
Exactly.
And think of how dumb you were at 32.
And so for me,
no offense to your mother.
No. But just at 32, you don't know anything.
You were
at 32.
At 32,
listen,
and you got a 16-year-old child. Y'all growing up together.
Y'all growing up together. You are literally growing up together. And so literally, I remember her going on her prom, and my mom giving her like clothes that she had to wear for my sister because she wanted to take it. It was like her purse and her dress, and so it's like, I remember these things. So it's the whole stigma and why people don't talk about it. I get it. I regret the fact that my sister's not here and I'm not able to talk to her about that. And even my mom, I'm not even able to talk to. Even when I do talk to her, when I try to talk to her about it, nobody wants to talk about it. She couldn't. It was very emotional for her, and I get it. But for me, I just have several questions. Like I'm just trying to understand.
Right.
I'm just trying to understand the whole process. Like, what is this? What is it? And it makes me look at now the rest of the family because apparently everybody knew. So I'm like.
And none of y'all stepped up to be like.
So I'm trying to understand, where do we, and my relationship with my father has never been one where we've been. It's like, okay, whatever, that's him. Hey, that's it. But knowing that then,
right,
I wouldn't have fucking had anything to do with him. Like, I even get conflicted when I start putting up family pictures. I'm like,
right.
And I have one picture of him, just one. Besides the obituary, just one. And I usually sit in the back somewhere. Yeah.
So to wrap up this Brent Kavanaugh thing, so there are now 3 accusers, and I said to Mishi yesterday before she posted this meme, I was like, so the first one, he allegedly just held her down and tried to pull her pants down. The second one, before we knew about this third one, he, held her down and put his dick in her face. I was like, the third one is going to be way worse. Because these stories only get worse over time. Because what happens is some woman usually feels empowered at some point to say something, and then whoever it is denies it, and then people who had something way worse happen to them, it's like, well, how the fuck are you? What? And so I'm like, but so I never thought he should be up in the beginning, and now after 3, and then he also tried to say I couldn't have assaulted her because I was a virgin. I was like, that don't have shit to do with it.
That has
nothing to do with it, because she never, the
hand.
first 2 people never said you actually raped them. They just said you tried to sexually assault them. So your virginity may have been entirely intact, but
possibly a fourth accuser.
Of course there's a fourth accuser.
Of course there are.
Because we still haven't even gotten out of the fucking college years yet.
We're still in high school. We're still in high school right now. Well, no, I'm sorry.
Second accuser was freshman year or sometime when he was in his undergrad at Yale. We haven't even gotten to graduate school or law school or when he was a law clerk for whoever rich white judge he was a law clerk for. This man is...
And that first job...
So if he was a senior in high school in 82, that only makes him 6 years old. 7 years older than us. So he's 55 years old. So he has 30 years of... What? 54. What? 54. Bye, girl. Okay, math is hard.
Okay.
My point is, we still got plenty of years of shit that you do. And if you do that, you don't all of a sudden stop doing that.
Yeah, that's true.
There are almost certainly women that he works with now that he has done inappropriate things
Matt
with.
Lauer.
Right. But here is the interesting thing. If he withdraws his nomination, or they choose not to move forward with him, he's still a federal judge. And lots of people, including me, are saying that he should be impeached from the federal bench. And let me tell you how ironic that is. Because he would have to go before the the Circuit Court of D.C. Guess who's the chief judge of the D.C. Circuit Court? Merrick Garland. If that name sounds familiar, that was the man that Barack Obama put up for as Supreme Court Justice that they refused to even vote on. Now that would be the gag to end all gags.
And in some very weird way, I don't see it happening like that.
Close, you don't think, well?
I don't think it'll happen like that for whatever reason. I don't know why, but I don't see it happening.
So I want to play a quick, fun game.
Okay.
Jill Scott, Beyonce, Erykah Badu, Sade.
Okay.
One has to go, and why? You have 60 seconds.
Erykah Badu.
Why?
Why? She's not as talented as the other 3, as far as I'm concerned. Now listen, I loves me some Badu, but she gotta go. She gotta go.
Well, everyone's allowed an opinion.
Absolutely.
All right.
So for you?
Jill Scott. Here's why. For me, it's not about raw talent. It is about who has brought me the most personal joy.
Okay.
First of all, Sade is fucking Sade.
So we're on one accord with that.
All right.
Let's be clear. Sade ain't going nowhere.
You know what people say? Sade is the best, and this is not up for discussion. It's not up for discussion.
That's where we are.
Sade is fucking Sade, and that's not up for discussion.
Right.
Erykah Badu, pound for pound, Mama's Gun is
that is her
one
best
of
album.
The best CDs ever.
That is one of her best albums. Yes.
If you're of not necessarily pointing to you particularly, but if you're of a different generation, you may feel differently, and that's completely fine, because this is what I think.
Right.
But almost every song on Mama's Gun was either at least a bump or really touched me personally.
Okay.
Orange Moon, Green Eyes, I'm in Love with You.
Yeah.
Those were beyond bumps.
It was a hot.
Didn't You Know was
album.
a good song.
Yeah.
Orange Moon is the bump. I still cry sometimes when I listen to Orange Moon.
Look at you being all sensitive and stuff.
I know, right? And my eyes are green because I eat a lot of vegetables. Let me tell you. So Erykah Badu stays. Beyonce, I used to hate Beyonce so bad.
Listen,
but over the years, she has given me too many
She has
bumps.
worked her ass off to get underneath my
She
skin.
gives a good show.
Yes,
her
she does.
Songs are usually catchy,
They're
and I
very
can
catchy.
really feel it. So Jill Scott just what was her first album? Jill Scott's first album.
Her first album was "Do You Want It on Your Calendar?"
Exactly.
Who is Jill Scott?
Who was Jill Scott?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not this is a bad album.
It was a great album.
I love that album.
It was a great album.
But compared to the other three, it just doesn't. It doesn't move me. Like if I had to choose if I could only choose 3 of these CDs to only listen to the rest of my life, I wouldn't choose. Well, I might actually. I mean, Sade is unimpeachable, but if I had to choose 3 CDs to go with me, I'd be like, can I just get Is It a Crime off of the Sade CD? And y'all keep the rest of that. Your Love is King, maybe, But all right,
Diamond Life and
again,
Maureen.
those are all cute, but they bump. So it's really between Jill Scott and Sade, and I just give the edge to keeping Sade because fucking Sade.
Okay, well, Babadoo. That's my opinion. And listen, I absolutely Sade. Even her the soundtrack for Indecent Proposal. Mm-hmm. No Ordinary Love.
Yes. Listen, Is It a Crime is still my favorite bump.
Listen, the beat comes on. I'm like,
yes.
Okay. But yeah, Erykah, and again, I agree. I totally agree with you. Mama's Gun is a great album, but
her first CD was
all right.
Really good. I loved
her live was
because the
good
thing
too.
about Erykah Badu and Lauryn Hill came out around the same time.
But New America,
and people used. Let's not even go there. We can. Let's be clear. It is only on the strength of the first 2 CDs that Erykah Badu is on the list. If we were talking about bodies of work, because everything after Mama's Gun was crap to me.
and that's another reason why she's out of my list.
Yeah, but to me, Mama's Gun and what was the first CD called? Baduism. Baduism and Mama's Gun was so good that they trump all of the other shit that she did. Like if Erykah Badu had never made any of those other CDs and did the same shit, well, maybe not be late all the time like Lauryn Hill, but if she just, because like Lauryn Hill has only had 1 CD.
Yes.
Yes, he had the live album, but that was just a live album of the shit that she'd already done. If Erykah Badu never did anything after Mama's Gun and just toured for the last 20 years off of the songs off of Mama's Gun and Baduism, I'd go see her every fucking time.
Yeah. Well.
All right. Well, we're over time.
Yeah.
So.
Anyway.
All right, so next week we're going to have another Foursquare. It may not even be music this time. So we're going to...
Okay.
You
all
can
right.
choose.
I can work with it.
You can choose the Foursquare next time.
I will choose my 4 squares.
All right. Choose wisely.
Ooh.
That was heated.
Yeah. No, it was a very easy discussion for me.
And by the way, you're wrong.
The BGKH Show streams live on Wednesdays on boxwave.com, 9:15 p.m. Eastern and 9:15 to 10:15 p.m. Eastern and 6:15 to 7:15 p.m. Pacific. Episodes are available on YouTube every Friday. Search for Vox Power 373 and look for the BGKH Show with Dominion and Epic. Coming in the fall, and actually maybe even sooner, we are going to have a live studio
Our
audience.
producer has said we can right now have up to 10 people
Yes.
in the audience.
So if you all are trying to get some tickets to come in and watch us live and be a part of the studio audience, please
message
message
either of us on
Facebook. Yeah, and let us know so we
The
can try to
show
make sure it
tapes
happens.
9:15 to 10:15 p.m.
Like,
Eastern
exactly, yeah.
In Suitland, Maryland. So
Yes,
you gotta be here.
you got to be here.
In Suitland, Maryland.
And once we start
Y'all
taping,
know where
don't
it
be
is.
late.
Y'all know where it is. We are on Off Road behind the Red Lobster.
You know where the Red Lobster is.
Everybody
you know
in
where the
the
Red
DC
Lobster
area
is.
that listens to this show know
You
where
know
the
where the
Red Lobster
is.
is on Off Road.
You know where it is.
You know where the Dark Horse is with the old Cougar on top of it. Everybody know where that is.
We all up there.
All right, so anyway.
But anyway, so if you want to get in touch with us, you can reach me on Facebook you can find me at Epic Onyx on Facebook, and you can also reach me on Twitter at Epic Onyx1, and you can also reach me on Instagram at I am Epic Onyx. Dominion, where can people reach you at?
You can reach me on Twitter and Instagram at Dom Onyx, on Facebook, facebook.com/Dom Onyx, and my website, www.domonyx.com.
This was a good week. I actually like the game. I think we should. Yeah, I'm thinking now. I'm
going to be out of town next week. So are you going to host without me, or are we just going to take a week off?
You know, I'm always for taking a week off.
Yeah, I think we're going to take a week off.
I'm always for taking a week off.
All right,
and I think it's a little different dynamic.
Yeah,
So yeah, I'm always for taking a week off.
So what day is that? So we're going to
that's going to be
October on
October the
3rd.
Yeah, October 3rd.
So we are looking for at least up to 10 people
for the October 10th show
in the audience for the October 10th show. So if you are interested, message me or Epic on Facebook
and let us know. But as always, thank you all for coming and hanging out with us and giving us this hour of your lives. We appreciate it. I guess until next 2 weeks.
Yeah, we'll see you then.
Bye.
Mwah.
Bye.
Bye.